What's the word, YouTube? It's Ciara Celeste back at again with another video. Alright, so boom, before we get into this story time, y'all already know what to do. Follow me on Instagram, Ciara.Celeste. Follow me on Twitter, Ciara Celeste. Too, baby. You already know the vibes, period. Y'all like my hair? Like, I did this myself. Okay. This is my first story time with my glasses on. I never did my glasses. Y'all think I look good? I think I'm gonna do it without my glasses. I'm gonna do it without my glasses. Alright, so boom. This is gonna be a story time about the time I messed with my coworker, and I would never do that again. Boom. So let's get into it. So let's bring it back all the way. This was even that long ago. This is actually was like last year. I was working. I'm not even gonna say the job because I don't even got time. I was working at this job, right? This is when I was living in New York. So I'm working at this job or whatever. And I had already worked at this location, not this location, but for this company before. So when I started working there again, I got promoted like hella fast. Like, so I started as a team member, got promoted to a trainer, got promoted to a manager. Boom, I'm a manager, cool. So this job was the type of job that like people was in and out. They would stay for a few months, get fired, or stay for a few months, quit, you know, type shit, whatever. So when I became a manager, it was cool. Like, it was cool vibes. I feel like I got so much lip gloss on, y'all. Like, this shit drooping. But anyway, it was cool vibes. So I was always working the morning time. I would open the store. It would be hella early too. I'd be at the job at like 5:30 in the morning type shit, whatever. But then I started going out more. My birthday was coming up, so I need some more bread, right? So I started working the morning and the night shifts too. So I'm pulling doubles, y'all. I'm pulling doubles every week. So I'm there all day. So the night shift is a different type of vibe than the morning shift, you know? So the night shift, that's where the niggas was. So boom, I meet this one guy, and I seen him when he first started working, but I wasn't paying no mind because I really don't be caring for niggas like that. Like, I really don't shoot my shot or whatever. I just be in my zone. Like, if you want to fuck with me, go fuck with me. But, like, I don't really be, you know, I don't be pressed. So, what we gonna call him, y'all? We gonna call him Heater just because, like, oh, that reminds me. Let me turn my heater off. I know that background noise probably annoying. Okay, so we gonna call him Heater. So he was low-key kind of fine, like definitely my type, because you know, y'all know I'm tall and I don't really, you know, meet too many tall men for real. But he was like there, he was up there. So he was tall, he was like brown skin, he had tattoos, he had glasses. He was cool. When I first seen him, I wasn't really checking for him because, you know, y'all, I really love light-skinned niggas, so I don't really be checking for anybody else. But I mean, I'll be fucking with anybody. Like, I don't really be worried about it. So I was cool with his friend too. So his friend, we are gonna call him Messy because that's what he was. So his friend was very flamboyant, just you know, y'all know how I be. So me and his friend was cool. Like, we used to work together sometimes. Me and Messy would work together or whatever. So Messy was older than me. Messy was like in his 30s. And he was way too old to be acting the way he was acting, but that's neither here or there. And he used to work hellas because he had 2 jobs or whatever. So me and him, we was cool, but sometimes it would be like, I knew Messy wasn't really like my friend for real, because it would be times I would try to tell, like, maybe give like criticism or whatever, and Messy would just take it the wrong way. Like, one time we had got into it because we were talking about how he works 7 days a week, and he was just talking about like how he's very spiritual. I'm spiritual too, so he was just talking about like this is what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be speaking life into like us, his coworkers and stuff, and he was saving up for like cryptocurrency and just all this stuff or whatever. And like me, I don't like working. I like getting money, but I don't like working. And I'm type, I want to experience life. Like, at the time, like, we was in New York. Like, it's so much to do. Like, why are you spending your whole life like working? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, he would literally work one of his jobs, like, and he worked at like a coffee shop. He would work one of his jobs from like 6:30 to like 2 or something like that. And then it was like a 2-hour commute to the job that we was at. Then he worked from that job from like 4 to like midnight, and then take 2 to 3 hours to get back home, and then he gotta work again. And so it's just like, that's not the type of life I would want to live, you know. And so I was just expressing that, and that's when he didn't like that. So me and him started like butting heads. But like me, like I'm not I don't argue, like, especially I just don't argue, period. Like I'm not gonna argue with you unless you my mans for real, then we could argue all day. But like I don't argue, so I just stopped the conversation. And when I walked away, he followed me, and he still kept trying to like keep the argument going. And I'm just like, okay, it's cool, like no pressure, you know. He just kept going. Like it was weird. But like after that, I kind of like knew that me and him was not like friends like that for real. But anyway, he was telling me like I would see him a lot with what did I name him? Heater. I would see him a lot with Heater, and I would ask him like, oh, like, you know, y'all talk or whatever. And he's like, no, like he not like that or whatever. We just they ride the train together or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So that was like first time I mentioned it to him, but he was just like, nah, it's not like that. Cause Heater was straight. So very like he was straight, like he was not gay, but he was cool with Messi. But Messi did this, like Messi was a weirdo. Like I'm just gonna say it, Messi was a weirdo. Messi would play like Heater straight, da da da. But then he would say little stuff to me like, I be romanticizing like our rides on the train and stuff like that. Like, and he would just say like little things that I could tell that he really did like Heater, but he knew that Heater was straight. So I was just like, okay, it's none of my business. I don't care. So then he started trying to put me on to Heater. So this is when it get weird for real. Let me see. Okay, so he started trying to put me onto Heater or whatever. And I'm like, nah, like, cause at the time I kind of was like messing with my old nigga, but like we was good, not good, good, not good. So I was in his face. I wasn't even worried about niggas. Like I'm just like, I'm not even stressing over nobody, nothing. And he was like, nah, girl, he always be talking to me about you. Like, he be telling me, like, you smell good and stuff like that. And, like, I'm not going to hold y'all. I do be smelling good. Like, call me Rihanna #2 because my hygiene routine is elite. So, when he said that, I was like, oh, you think I smell good? Okay. But I was still like, nah. But, like, he just kept persisting. Like, girl, you should talk to him. And then he started saying some things that was kind of weird to me, but in the moment I kind of like laughed it off. But now looking back, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But he was like, yeah, girl, because if you get with him, he gon' give it to you, girl. He gon' give it to you. And I was just like, I'm like, how you know it? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just joking. And I was like, yeah, because he be telling me about, like, he was just telling me about his like girls that I guess he was dealing with. And like he's just like all this like drama and just stuff. Like he was just telling me all his business basically. And I was just like, nah, like I'm good, da da da. But then fast forward to May, that's when it was my birthday. And then so this weekend was really important to me because the same weekend it was my birthday and my graduation weekend. So that's why I was pulling all these doubles so I could have money, because I was blowing bread that whole weekend, right? So then he had hit Messi up and was like, oh, tell Ciara happy birthday, da da da, because everybody knew it was my birthday. Like, so when he remembered it was my birthday, I was like, oh, that was kind of cute. Like, okay. And then so he's like, yeah, girl, you should talk to him. Like, you should talk to him. So I'm still like, okay, like I'm like, okay, whatever, just like go ahead, whatever. So then like that next weekend, he ends up speaking to me, like I'm eating or whatever, and he sits next to me and we chat and we having a good little conversation or whatever. And then I just started noticing him, like he would talk to me more. Like since I was the manager, like I had to ring up their food. He would always come to me to ring up the food or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was feeling him a little bit, but not too crazy. So then after work one day, we all went to get drinks. So it's me, Messi, and Heater. We went to go get drinks. And so I noticed that like Heater was chatting with me and I'm chatting, and Messi not saying nothing for real. He's just kind of like sitting back. So I'm just like, okay, cool. But then that's when me and him, we exchanged numbers, you know. So we take a couple drinks or whatever, exchange numbers, and then we just go. I think we just like, what happened? Did we just make our way home? I think so, yeah. And then around that time, I was actually moving into his neighborhood because I was moving. My lease was up, so I was moving into his neighborhood. So now he really was like trying to shoot his shot. So once we started texting, he started talking about like, oh, he wanted to link with me, he wanted to come see me or whatever. But you know, I work like crazy. But since we both work the same job, everybody had Sundays off. So we was off on Sunday. So that's when the first time we linked, right? So we linked, and it was crazy to me because I'm not even from New York, but like he is. So when I was like, okay, what we finna do? He was like, oh, we just probably get something to eat, you know, cool, whatever. So he comes and gets me, and he comes to my spot, and like it was just like, it was such a downgrade messing with him because like, okay, I'm gonna get to it. But anyway, so he comes to our spot. He's mad late, y'all. That's why I hate when niggas like, that's the thing about people in New York. Like, they'll tell you 1 o'clock and won't pull up till 5. Like, what is it? What is it? Y'all don't have a watch? You need me to buy you a watch? Like, what's going on? So I think we said like 2, and he didn't come till like 3:30. So I was just like, but I was already like ready, and I was just like, whatever. So he comes, gets me. So then we're walking through the neighborhood, and I'm just like where you want to go, you know? But it's Sunday, so it's like not really like a lot of places like lit and open during the day, unless you're trying to do like brunch or something. But it was already like 3:30, so I'm like, so we walking, and I'm just like, where are you finna go? Like, I just stopped, and he's like, oh, he's just like chatting. But I'm just like, yo, okay, I'm gonna take you to a spot. And I just thought it was crazy because I was like, I'm not even from New York, and I'm showing you the spots. All right, boom. So we take the train to the spot, and this spot was in Brooklyn. That's the thing about New York. We were still in Brooklyn, but we traveled like an hour and a half, and we still in Brooklyn. Like, it's crazy. So we go to this spot. The spot is actually kind of fire, y'all. Like, if y'all wanted to take pictures there, I really could put y'all onto some spots in New York for real. If y'all want to take pictures there, I'm your girl. Like, go. So we go to the spot, get some food, get some hookah. You know me, you know the vibes. We drinking. The drinks was not strong though. I will tell you that. They was watering down that liquor for real, because I think we both had 2 drinks and a shot, and I still was just like vibey. I was not drunk or nothing. Like, and I had hookah, so I don't know. But the food was okay. It was decent, but the vibe overall was cool. So boom, we vibing, we talking, you know, we loosening up because the drinks is coming, you know, whatever. So then I just start to think like, we kind of racking up a tab here. Like, who is finna pay for this? And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, watch. I know what's gonna happen. So I end up going to the bathroom. I come back, and I was like, oh, you ready to go? And he was like, yeah, I just gotta get the bill. So I was like, okay, cool. So he calls the waiter drops the bill. The bill is like $200. So I'm like, all right. So I'm on, like usual, I'm get on my phone, because what did you think? Get on my phone. While I look up, just like little glance, just to see what was going on, he on his phone too, and the bill just in the middle of the table. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like. So after like 5 minutes go by, I'm like, you finna get it? And he's like, I mean, I can, but I was just finna sell it to you. And I was just like, oh. And I was like, what? So like I said, the bill is $200. So he sells me like $100, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So that ruined the vibe. That really ruined the vibe. So I'm just like, all right. I'm like calm, cool, collected. You never finna see me sweat. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. I paid. And then we about to like go or whatever. And he's like, oh, what you want to do? You want to smoke or something? I'm like, nah, I'm straight. Because at this point, I don't really like even want to be around you. Like, you just gave me bum for real. So, and then like I smoked with him before, and it wasn't really like that gas for real. So it's like, it's just a waste of time. Like, I'm ready to go home. Like, I'm trying to enjoy the rest of my day off. So we walk into the train or whatever, and he's sitting next to me talking or whatever, and he's just telling me like, he's like, why you not talking, I was like, nah, I'm just tired, like, for real. He's like, well, one of us gotta talk, we can't just be in silence. Why we can't just be in silence? Like, we don't gotta talk the whole ride home. So we like I said, I moved into his neighborhood, so we literally like one stop away. So he's telling me like, you want to just come to my place, we could smoke? I'm like, nah, I'm straight. And then and then he's like, you sure? Like, when it gets to his stop, he's like, you sure you just don't want to come? I was like, no, I'm good. And so he's like, okay. So he gives me a hug, I get off on my stop, and I go home. So then the next day I tell Messi, because at the time me and Messi was cool. So I was telling him like about the day. I was like, girl, he a broke ass well, I didn't even say, I like, cause Messi was like that. So I used to be talking to him like he was my home girl. Like he is a broke ass nigga. Like, I'm used to niggas with cars. I'm used to niggas with money, because I really was. That's why I said messing with him was like a downgrade for real. So it's like, I'm used to niggas with cars, with money. Like, you didn't pay the bill, like, what? That's crazy to me. And then you got the nerve to try to get some coochie too, like, because I already know if I would have went to his crib afterwards, he would have definitely tried me. So I was just like talking my shit for real, you know. And then so he's like, what? I heard the date was so good, I heard y'all about to go on a second date. I was like, he really tells you that? That's crazy. So like at this point in my life, I'm like trying to decide, like, it's the summertime, like this is like around this time, like I said, it's May. I'm on my BS for real. I'm not really looking for no relationship. Like, I'm just vibing. Honestly, I'm just vibing, because I already had a plan that I was gonna move out of New York at the end of the summer. So I'm not really like, I'm just living. And I was still kind of messing with my ex nigga too. So I was like, you know what, if I mess with him from time to time, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not worried about it. So after that, at first I really wasn't texting him for real, because I was like, he a bum. Like, I really wasn't like on that for real. But then when I kind of thought like I'm on my BS for real, I was like, okay, I'll text him from time to time, you know, cool, whatever. So what ended up happening, me and him, we kicking it. Basically throughout like majority of the summer, it's me and him, we link in from time to time, kicking it. He would come to my spot, I come to his spot, you know, just like vibes, you know. It was never no pressure, nothing like that. So then we started getting some new workers at the job. So we got this new manager, what we gonna call her? I don't got no beef with her, so I'm not even gonna be shady. So she was cute too. She a little black girl, whatever. She was cute. We gonna call her Pink. I don't know. I'm just saying something. So Pink came in. She cute or whatever. So they so like after work they would like, you know, smoke, chill out or whatever. So I only worked the night shifts like on the weekends. I didn't work during the week. So they like spent like more, like Messi used to work the night shifts, Pink used to work the night shifts, Heater used to work the night shifts. So they all like was together or whatever. So afterwards they would smoke, they would chill, they would vibe, they take the train home, whatever. So one day I was at my crib and Heater was at the job. They was closing up. So while he's cleaning, he's on FaceTime with me. I'm chatting with him on FaceTime, no pressure. Messi hop in the phone like, oh, is that Ciara? Hey girl, you know, whatever. But you know, people at the job, they nosy, they listening. So he's like looking at me surprised, like he didn't think I would be on FaceTime with him or whatever. So the conversation go cool, nothing happens. The next day I come to work, I work the night shift. Messi is acting so weird to me, y'all. Like Messi is acting like, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, why you not talking to me? Like, you don't fuck with me no more? And he's like, nah, I'm just ducking niggas. And I'm like, ducking niggas? Like, what do you mean? He's like, nah. I was like, who we gotta fight? He's like, nah, I'm gonna tell you later though. And so I'm just like, okay, like, I don't know. But like the whole shift, me and him, usually we be chit-chatting, we be joking, you know, the whole shit. But this time he was not messing with me. Like he was just acting really weird, y'all. Like whatever. So it gets to the end of the shift, right? I'm cleaning the ice cream machine. he's cleaning like the counter or whatever. So now he's like, okay, girl, I can finally tell you. So I'm like, what's tea? So he basically tells me that he didn't want to say nothing to me because Pink was right there and she was listening. And I was like, why would Pink be listening? Because like me and Pink, we cool, like we work together, but it was like we're not friends or nothing. Like it was no pressure like that, you know. So he was like, she was listening because she been fucking with Heater. And I was like, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, girl, like the other night we was all smoking together and he asked her for her number and she gave it to him, and ever since then they've been texting. And I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I was like, so why you just didn't tell me this earlier? And then he was like, because she was listening, like she was right there. That's why I said I was ducking niggas. And I was just like, what? Like I'm like in my head like confused because like that's weird, like, you know. So I really don't know how to feel. So I'm just like, you know what, I don't want this to mess up my night. So I was just like I don't want to talk about this no more, because I'm just like, I'm a good vibe person. I hate when negative energy just like mess up. And he just kept wanting to talk about it. And then he had said we had got into it because he kept going. Like I didn't want to talk about it no more. He kept going. So then he had said something that made it seem like he liked Heater. Like he said, like this happened a couple months ago, so I don't remember. But he said something that made it seem like he liked Heater. So I'm thinking, so then I start to think in my head, like, is he trying to sabotage us because he actually likes Heater? Or like, did this situation actually happen? Like, I'm not 100% sure. So basically, Heater had got off early that day, so he was waiting for me. We was gonna like go together. And then I ended up telling him, like, you can go home, like you don't have to wait for me. He's like, are you sure? Like I'm right here, like you finna get off. I was like, nah, I'm straight. So he's like, what happened? I was like, don't even worry about it, because like I'm in my head like, you fuck with this bitch, like you can't, like the whole thing about it, I don't care if he messed with girls, because I was doing me too. But I told him from the very beginning, if we, you know, mess with each other, whatever, keep it low key. Like, do not be messy and be drama and be reporting live. Ciara's missing, like that. And that's exactly what this nigga did. So it's just like, he was like, oh yeah, no drama, da da da. But like, it was drama. So anyway, I end up, so when I'm about to leave, I try to take the other door. I try to take the back door, because I'm like, I already know I'm gonna run into him if I take like the way everybody else goes out. I try to take the back door. Why is he outside waiting for me? So I'm like, so he's like you finna go home? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I thought we was finna take the train together. I was like, nah, I took another train. I was like, nah, I'm finna go this way. And then he's like, you won't even tell me like what happened? I was like, nah, I'm straight. And I just said good night. And he's like, I can't even get a hug. And I'm like, nah, like I'm really tight, because like don't ever try to play me like that, you know? So I go home. So then the next day, I think we end up talking about it. And at first he didn't really know what I was talking about. He thought I just didn't want to talk to him because Messi said something, I don't know, but he didn't know like specifically why. So then I was just like, it was making me mad that he was acting dumb. So I was like, okay. So I just sent him a voice note and I told him everything that Messi said. And then so he was like, what? He was like, yo, like he really played in my face, but I believed him this time. But he was like, no, like that's not even what happened. Like he was like, Pink does music and I do music too, so that's the only reason why we got each other's numbers. She know I make beats and she sings, so we was gonna work together. So in my head I'm thinking like, he does make beats, she does make music too, so like maybe this is true, you know, whatever. And he was like, he just trying to sabotage us. He know how much I like you, da, 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 da. Like he's spazzing. So when I seen him get that angry, I was like, well, I had already kind of felt like Messi liked Heater already. So I'm like, maybe Messi is trying to sabotage us. Like that's the only thing I hate about being like gaslit, because you don't know what is the truth. So then I started looking at Messi crazy. So then I end up talking to Messi about the situation. Me and him get into it. We fall out because he's spazzing at me, I'm spazzing at him, like, you know. So we fall out or whatever. And then while we fall out, when I tell y'all, this is how I knew Messi really wasn't my friend for real. Because even if like me and like one of my friends get into it, your business is safe for me. I'm not gonna be telling everybody your business because we're not cool. Like, that's weird to me. So anyway, he went to anybody that would listen to him at that job. And like I said, people at that job is nosy. They like to, what's the drama? What's the tea? So he told everybody, y'all, when I tell you, he told my, like, so I was a manager, but I was like kind of like a shift lead type of manager, you know, whatever. So he told my assistant director, he told the manager, like, that was like ahead of her. I don't know what her position, I guess she was like the director. And he told all of them, and they all knew my business. And the thing is, I didn't even know this was going on. So while me and Messi, we beefing right now, we not talking, but me and Heater, we still good. Like, that's our little babe for the summer, you know, whatever. One day I come to work, and when my assistant director, she come up to me like, oh, like, what happened? I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I heard you got into it with Messi. And I was like, girl. And he was like, yeah, and I heard you've been messing with Heater. Y'all, when I tell you, my jaw dropped because I don't like people in my business. Like, what? And then like the person, like, I knew that if she heard it, I knew somebody else heard it. And like the only reason why she knew is because when me and Messi had got into an argument, we had gotten into an argument downstairs, and we thought nobody was downstairs because it was just, I was doing the dishes, I think he was on his break or something like that. So we thought nobody was downstairs. Whole time it was somebody, it was like another manager in the office. So he's listening. He's like, ooh, what's tea? He run and tell my assistant director, and that's when my assistant director come to me. And then she's like, yeah, he was telling, he told this other girl, which is the actual director. So I'm like, he's telling everybody. And I'm like, if you told like team members, I wouldn't trip about it. But you're telling like management, like, it's making me look crazy, like, you know, whatever. So I'm mad at him. Like, I ended up getting into it with him, like, don't ever tell my business, don't ever speak on my name, So me and him, we get into it or whatever. We still beefing, we still not talking or whatever. I think I block him. I send that message and I block him. Don't ever speak to me again. Then we beefing for like a few weeks or whatever, and then I'm still chit-chatting with Heater. Then Heater start acting weird, and that's when it really was like, I knew this was some BS for real. So Heater, he slowly stops texting me for real. So I'm like, I don't know. I was like, he must got another girl or something. Like, I don't know what's going on, but he slowly starts texting me. And then it gets to a point where I'm asking him, like, are we good? Like, what's wrong? You know, whatever. He's like, no, it's no problem. Just going through a lot, So he starts talking to me about what he's going through, but he's taking a long time to respond. Like, and sometimes he's not even responding to some of my messages. I have to like kind of like blow him up a little bit for him to even respond to me, and I don't even like doing that. Like, what are you doing? So I'm like, if you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to talk to me. Like, it's not a big deal, but like, you acting weird right now. So then he would just always like, whenever I would, it's like crazy. Like, if I would hit him like, hey, what you doing? No response. Hey, how are you? No response. Nigga, if you don't respond back to my message right now, like, and then respond so fast. It's like, I gotta spaz on you for you to even respond to me. That's crazy. So anyway, so he's like, okay, we could talk, you know, because I wanted to talk to him in person, because I'm like, this texting is getting weird, you know. So he's like, we could talk in person, like, He sent me this whole paragraph how he's sorry and you know, stupid stuff or whatever. So then it was like one weekend, he was supposed to come to my crib on like a Friday or something like that. Why this nigga stand me up, y'all? Why I really have my phone, because like I knew he was getting off late. I know, because he always get off late. So I had my phone to my ear with the ringer on. It never rung. I remember I woke up in the morning and I'm looking at my messages. Like, I didn't get no messages, no missed calls from him. So I'm like, what the? So I'm texting him like, nigga, like, you know, cussing him out or whatever. I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm gonna see you tonight. I promise you. Like, I had a lot going on. When I come see you, I'm gonna tell you everything. So I'm like, stupid. So I fall for it. So I'm like, all right, just hit me up tonight, like, whatever. Did he hit me up, y'all? Did he hit me up? No. This nigga told me, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be out with my bros tonight, but I forgot where it was finna go. It was going somewhere, to some spot or whatever. But he was like, afterwards, I'm gonna come see you. So I'm like, okay. Never came and saw me, y'all. Like, this nigga really played in my face. So then after that, that's when I really was like, all right, we done. Like, I don't care about none of that. We done. So I cussed him out, and then did I block him? I think I blocked him. I probably did block him. I don't know. This was a minute ago. So then after that, I get to the job, right? I'm beefing with both these niggas. I'm beefing with Messy. I'm beefing with Heater, you know, whatever. So then it comes to like, what is this, like Friday night? I'm working the night shift again. And Messy, I could tell he want to talk to me, but he know I'm not fucking with him for real like that. So he would find like different ways to just like say something to me. And if I say something back, he'll try to start a conversation or something like that. So then he basically, we basically end up chatting by the end of the night, because like I'm type, I will really give you the cold shoulder. I will stop talking to you, but like if you keep talking to me, I'm eventually just talk to you. Like I don't care. So we started, you know, chit chat or whatever. We get off work, and this was actually my last day at the job, because I was, honestly, it was so much with that job. I was just tired. I was tired of the job. I already had another job lined up. I was tired. So in my mind, this is my last day, but I didn't tell him. My last day was supposed to be like that next week. But anyway, so after work, me and him, we end up, cause like you can either get off at 10:30 or you can get off at like 11:15 or something like that. So Heater got off at 11:15, but me and him, we got off at 10:30. So we was chatting, and he's telling me everything. He's like, Ciara, I wanted to tell you so much, but I knew we was into it or whatever. But he's like, yeah, he fucked her for real. He really did. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, they've been linking up or whatever. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, because he been standing me up for like the last 2 days. So he probably was with her, and he's telling me everything. And like, I'm really like, I believe it, because it's making sense. Like, everything he's saying, like, it's really making sense. And he's just like, he actually, Messy and Heater was kind of into it, because Messy, like, he would kind of like put Heater onto his friends, and then Heater would kind of do his friends like dirty. So then Messy was looking at him like, nah, like, I'm not putting you on no more people. And then Heater stopped telling him his business for real, because it's like, Heater was trying to be a whore basically, and trying to mess with all these girls at the job. And like, it was too much. Like, I didn't even know all this stuff. Like, I knew about the Pink situation, but then it was another girl. What we gonna call the other girl? We're gonna call her Flashlight. So Flashlight she was cool. She was like funny. She was like really funny. She was like class clown type of girl or whatever. She was a horrible worker, but she was really funny. Like, she was cool peoples for real. But anyway, Flashlight was actually younger than all of us. Flashlight was like 19, and we're all like, well, I'm 25. I was like turning 25. Heater was like 24. Pink was like 23, you know, and Messy was oldest. He was like in his 30s, like in his mid 30s or whatever. So when I was talking to Messy, and he's telling me, yeah, like, Heater been trying to get on Flashlight too, I was like, Flashlight? Like, Flashlight is a kid. Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah. He was just telling me everything. And like, I knew Messy knew all the tea, because Messy works with them like every day, and I work in the morning, so I don't really be knowing the tea like that. Like, when I'm leaving, they coming in. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. That's real cute. So of course, you know me, I'm gonna play it cool all the time. So when everybody else got off, we all like hanging outside, you know, smoking, whatever, just chilling, just vibing. And I wasn't really sitting next to Heater. I was really kind of like chatting with Messy more, but it was kind of like, it felt like a little coupled up a little bit, because some people had they boo in it, so it was just kind of weird. So then, like, as time went on, they started to, you know, everybody started to leave, go home, whatever. So since I live in the same neighborhood as Heater, I'm like, I just rode the train with them. So I was like, let's see how this night gonna play out. So I ride the train with Heater, and then Messi rides the train with us too. Now Messi, he lives in another neighborhood, but the train kind of goes in that way, and then he has to transfer it to somewhere else. You know all that. So anyway, so we on the train together. Heater sits next to me, and then Messi sits like across. So he's just kind of like chatting with me. I'm playing it cool. I'm chatting, but I already know I'm gonna ask him like, what's going on? Because mind y'all, he had stood me up that weekend before, and then that whole week, every time he would see me, he would not speak to me. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then he even started ordering his food through another manager, through Pink, y'all, through Pink. So I was just like, oh, okay, let me play it cool. But inside, I'm like, this nigga got me fucked up. So we chatting or whatever, and then I really don't know how to get home because I usually take I think I was taking like I know how to get home through another train, but we had gotten to a whole nother train. Like I usually take the B train. I would take the B train all the way home. It was either the B or the Q. I forgot which one. I would take that train all the way home. They showed me a whole nother route, and they had me taking the A train to like the C, and it was just like it was so much longer. I was like, why are we taking this way? Like this don't even make sense. But that's the way they always take. So I was just like, whatever. So I'm trying to ask him, like, because I don't want to go home with him, and I could already tell that's how it's gonna go. Like he's gonna walk to his stop, but I can tell I'm not gonna know how to get to my stop. And mind you, it's late at night. It's like 2 in the it's like 2 in the morning because we had to wait. Them trains was taking forever. So it's like 2 in the morning we get home. So I'm kind of like nervous because it's a new neighborhood. And mind you, this neighborhood got rough. So I was like kind of nervous. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk with him, and then if I get lost, I'm gonna just take an Uber to my crib. Like I'm gonna figure it out, So we get off the train. We start walking I could tell we walking to his spot because I'm already seeing it. So I'm talking to him and I'm asking him, I'm like, so what's up? What's going on with you? And he's like, what you mean? It's that, da, da, da. So he starts talking. He's telling me like, he's just talking about his life or whatever. And then we was supposed to go on this date to like, it was like this arcade. And he's like, oh, we still going to the arcade? I'm like, nah, because you literally just stood me up last week to my son. We still going to the arcade. Like, are you dumb? Like, so I was just like, nah, like, and then so I basically when we got to his crib, that's when I asked him like, so what's up? Like, cause I wanted to like play cool. And then so I was like, what's going on with you? Da da da. He's like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out. So we started talking, and he's like, you want to go in the house and talk? I think he said that. I'm not sure. And then so I was like, okay, we go in the house and talk. But I already kind of knew that he thought he was trying to get some. No, he was trying to get none that night. So we go to his room. Mind y'all, his house, it's dirty, y'all. It's dirty. So I really didn't even want to be there for real. But I'm like, it's dark outside. We're not finna just be posted up in front of his house in the hood. Like, so we go in the house or whatever. We go in his room and we start talking. And then so I tell him everything that Messi told me. I don't care. I told him everything that Messi told me. So I was like, yeah, and Messi told me that you fucked Pink. Did you? And he was like, for sure. Y'all, he said for sure, like it was nothing. I said, okay, cool. I grabbed my bag. I'm headed to the door. He's like, whoa, hold on. And he was like, we not in a relationship. We didn't establish nothing. Nobody told me that I couldn't mess with da. I was like, I don't care if you mess with girls, but I told you from the beginning, don't be fucking all these girls at the job bringing drama. Like, and he's like, no, it's no drama, da. And then I'm like, oh, and I heard you was trying to fuck Flashlight too. Like, what is going on? Like, and he's just like, he's just talking, but he's lying. Like, I could tell he's lying. So I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out of there because, like I told y'all, I don't argue. I'm not finna argue with you. I already know the truth. And I know if I would have talked to Pink, I know she probably would have confirmed it. Because he already told me, like, yes, they did. And then with Flashlight, he told me Yeah, I'm just starting to remember. He was telling me, he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Ciara. I'm gonna be honest. I did want to fuck Flashlight because, you know, her ass is fat and everything. But then she started being weird and da. Like, it was just like, no, like, nigga, get out my face. Like, but mind you, the whole time while he's like telling me stuff, he has the firmest grip on my arm, and this nigga was strong. So like, it's not even like one of those, no, stop. Like, it's one of those like, nigga, get off of me. Like, I'm trying to go home. Like, no. So I think he let up on my arm a little bit. So that's when I get up, I grab my bag, and then he blocks the door. So he blocks the door. So he's holding me, like, he's holding me hostage, y'all. So we really going back and forth. He's like, no, Ciara, I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, I don't want them girls. Like, he's like, if you want me to call her right now, I will call her right now. Like, literally like crying. And I'm like, bro, no, because I told you from the beginning, like, I don't even have time for this. Because, okay, like, if it was just Pink, I'll be like, no, I still wouldn't, because when I first asked him at the beginning of summer about Pink, if he was messing with her, he told me no. It wasn't like that. He just was just trying to get music, you know, whatever. And he was like, yes, yeah, it was like that at first. At first it was. And then I ended up going to her house because we were gonna record the songs here. We were gonna record the song, but then like, yeah, she's like, we were talking and we were like vibing and stuff. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did try to hit it, but she's very spiritual, and she was just like, no, she was trying to protect her energy, And then but then the next week I came over again, and that's just when it happened. But I don't care. It wasn't even like that, whatever. And I'm just like, so the weekend that you her was the weekend that you still be up? He's like, no, Ciara, it wasn't like that. That was a whole nother day. And he just started talking, and I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I really don't even care, because I'm at the point, I'm already tight. Like, I'm already tight. So anything you saying right now, I don't care. So he's still holding me hostage, have my arms up. And this nigga, like, you know how niggas be trying to like kiss on you and please, I'm sorry, no, fuck off me. So then I kept saying no whole time, moving, because I'm like, it's not that type of vibe. You're not gonna tell me, you're not gonna tell me what you just told me and think you finna get, are you dumb? Like, no. So then finally he let me leave. It was like 20 minutes to that, just going back and forth. Finally he let me leave. I get in the Uber. I didn't even wait for the Uber in his house. I waited outside in Brownsville. I didn't even care. I wanted to go home. So I go home. I call Messi. I'm like, bro, like, I tell him everything. He's like, Ciara, I told you, So then, after that, like, we didn't talk. And then I think, like, I was mad about it for like a week. But then after a week, I just like got over it. So I ended up texting him, and I was just like, you know what? It's because it was just like weird energy between us now. So I was like, you know what? It's no bad blood. Like, I don't even care, whatever. He never texted me back. So I was like, oh. So I'm like, okay. But he was watching my story like a weirdo, because I had already unfollowed him. He's watching my story, so I know he typing my name in. So I blocked him. And then fast forward, so that was like beginning of June. Fast forward to 4th of July. One of my coworkers, I wasn't working at the job no more, but I was still cool with them, right? So my coworker, she invites me to her, 4th of July barbecue. So I'm like, all right, boom. So at this point, it's a whole month past. I'm already on to the next nigga. I'm not worried about him. But I knew as soon as I walked in, I seen him. He seen me, because he knew I was pressured. Like, stop playing with me. But I'm not worried about him. I got my hookah set up. I'm drinking. I'm vibing. All my other coworkers, they was there too. They was all cool, you know, whatever. So then Messi, he wasn't there though, but Flashlight comes in. So Flashlight walks in. She walks in with her friend or whatever. She walks in, and mind you, I don't like have no pressure with, no beef, no nothing with Flashlight. I didn't even know that there was even an issue, you know, like, yeah, you trying to get with this man. That's not even my man. So I'm not even like worried. Like I said, I moved on. It's already a month past, you know? So when she comes in, I'm like, hey girl, how are you? She's like, hey. And I'm, okay. And then like whole time, like, she was not talking to me about you. Like, usually she would speak to me. So That was kind of weird. And then like she was only there for like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, you about to go? She's like, yeah, we finna get out of here. So I was just like, okay. So she ends up leaving, and this is what she do, yeah. So it's like we're in like a little group, we're talking. What's his name? Heater is in the group too. He's like, bye y'all. He's like, she said everybody name. Bye so and so, bye so and so, bye so and so, bye Heater. And then she don't say my name at all. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, in my head, I'm smacked though, y'all. So I'm smacked. So I'm like, does she really got beef for me? Like, is this really what it is? But I'm like, nah, like it could never be. I'm like, it could never be, because honestly, I really didn't think nobody even knew I talked to him like that. So I was like, nah, it's not that. So like I think like maybe a few days later, I ended up making a little post on my close friends, and I was like, bitches mad at me over a nigga you shouldn't even want. I said something like that, and then one of my coworkers swiped up and was like, ooh, and then so we started talking, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know what I said, but we started talking. And she started telling me everything. She was like, yeah, she was like, Heater. That's the one who said it? Yeah. She was like, Heater was in Flashlight ear telling her that you don't like her. That's why she acted the way she did. And it was crazy because I remember when me and Heater had that conversation where he was like, wouldn't let me go or whatever. He was like, I was telling him that it's weird that he's messing with all these bitches, because I be cool with them. I be in their face talking to them. Oh my gosh, your hair is so good. Your hair looks so good. You look so good. Like, that's the type of person I'm just like, I like to hype you up. So I'm in here hyping these bitches up in these bitches' faces the whole time you fucking my man. Wow, that's crazy. So I ended up saying that to him. He was like, nah, don't have no beef with them. You don't need to have beef with them. And I was like, I'm not gonna have beef with them. I just think it's weird. Like, you got me in bitches' faces and the whole time you're messing with them. Like, that's weird. So when my coworker was telling me like, yeah, like Heater been telling Flashlight that you don't like her, and that he that night that y'all talked or whatever, that he made you cry. Y'all, like, I didn't care about nothing else that she was saying for real, because I was like, that's weird. But you made me cry? Like, was we not in the same, like, were we not there together? Like, were you not holding me hostage? Were you not begging and pleading me to keep fucking with you? Like, but you made me cry? I was like, wow. Like, that's when I really was like, I don't like when people try to like lie on me, and then they telling people the story, because I've had this happen before. People will do you wrong, then run to everybody, tell the story like you did them wrong, and I'm like, and then people believe it. So then people start thinking I'm this bad person. So when that happened, I was like, oh, he got me up. I unblocked him so fast. And then my coworker, she was telling me all the stuff that Messy was also saying about me too. Messy chatting, Heaters chatting. They telling everybody who would listen my business, because at first I thought it was just Messy chatting, telling my business. But then some of the things that my coworker was telling me was only things that me and like Heater would know, because I didn't tell Messy everything, because clearly Messy was messy. So it was some things that was just between me and Heater. So I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you're really okay, cool. So then I unblock Heater. When I tell y'all, I cussed him clean the fuck out. Like, I really went in on him so bad. I talked about his dirty ass house. Y'all, when I tell you, I went over his house that one time. I spent the night that one time. That was like the first time we, do or whatever. And after that, I told him, come to my crib for real, because what is going on? We walk in, it's like a basement, we walk in. It's like a little kitchenette, and then it's like a living room. The kitchenette was so dirty. Like, it was like food. It was like pots and stuff just all over the place. The bathroom, it was, My bad. The bathroom was like nasty. I'm in his crib. It's like stuff everywhere. Like it's very junky. So I sit on the we on the bed or whatever, you know, and the bed was the only thing that was like semi clean. So when I wake up in the morning to, you know, put my stuff back on, I trying to put my little Air Force Ones on. I end up, you know, tripping because I'm trying to. It's like no space. It's no space. So I end up tripping a little bit. So I touched something to hold my balance. Y'all, why was it sticky on my hand? I was like, what the? And it was like some old ass plates, like with food in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, the ghetto. Like, it was so nasty. And then it was crazy because I was telling him how I love hookah. And he was like, oh yeah, I had a hookah too. And he was like, yeah, his friend has set it up. But he was telling me this like it was past tense. Y'all, why the same hookah was there and it was still dirty water, charcoal, old charcoal, like. And then like the biggest thing that I knew this nigga was a dirty nigga. We woke up in the morning, we smoked, we talked or whatever. First thing this nigga drank was orange soda. That's when I knew. That right there. Not water. Not no, you know, maybe some juice or some tea or some orange soda. So that's when I knew. That's when I knew. Whatever. So it all made sense. Like the reason why Flashlight was acting weird towards me at the barbecue was because niggas was in her ear telling her that I don't like her. So then I end up hitting a Flashlight like, hey girl, I don't know what's going on or what was said, but I'm just letting you know I don't have no beef with you. And then we were just talking about the whole situation or whatever. And she was just like, yeah, like I don't know what's going on too, girl, because when I heard you didn't like me, that was weird. And she was just telling me everything or whatever. And that's when she told me that like Messy and Heater was like they was both talking or whatever. And I'm like, these is some weird motherfuckers. Like, are y'all women or y'all niggas for real? Because the way y'all acting, y'all is very much bitch made, you know? So after I sent that message to Heater, I blocked him, so he couldn't even get a chance to respond because I already know he's gonna call me bitch. Like I know he was gonna cuss me out too. So I was like, nah, block. I blocked him on everything. Like he couldn't even respond if he wanted to. I did the same thing to Messy. I'm texting Messy like, oh, did you say this? Did you say this? And I'm literally, okay, at this point, I'm being kind of messy too because I'm literally sending the screenshots of what my coworker is saying. So I did the same thing. I sent all the screenshots to Heater as well. But when I sent it to Heater, I cropped her name out because I knew that he was cool with my coworker's boyfriend, and I just didn't want I didn't want no drama. So I just cropped the name out. But when it came to Messy, I did not crop it. I just sent all the screenshots, and it was telling everything like, oh, he said this, and this, and that, and third, and da 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 da. And then so of course, Messy calls me, and we're going back and forth, and I'm like, he's like, he's basically like saying, no, he didn't say that. And I was like, so who said it? He's like, I don't know. Ciara, everybody knew your business. They knew because of you. Nobody would have known. I never posted this man. I never talked about this man. Y'all never saw me walking with this man into work together, out of work together. Nobody knew my business except you and him because y'all was chatting. Y'all was telling everybody that were here because y'all so obsessed with me. Like, oh, it's so weird. But anyway, so after that, we got on the phone, we calling, and if his energy was so weird, like he was just a weird ass person. Like he changed from Ciara, like I would never do that to you, to fuck you, Ciara. I never give a fuck about you. Was never my friend. I never cared. Oh, okay. Hang up. Then he texts me this long paragraph and he starts talking about everybody at the job too. Well, first he was talking about me, but then he's like, I don't give a fuck about these people at the job, da da da. And then so I forgot what I cussed him out too. I was like, I said some crazy shit. And I blocked him. He comes into work. I wasn't working there at this time. This is just what people told me. He came to work heated, and he's talking to my coworker. And my coworker actually got a little mad at me because he was like, she was like, I thought you told me you cropped my name. And I was like, I'm not gonna hold you. When I text Heater, I did crop your name. But when I text Messy, I'm sorry, I forgot. Like, I was just so mad. And so she was just like, it's no, I don't care, whatever. And like Messy was coming to Messy was coming to my coworker and telling her everything or whatever. And then he started telling her like, I love you, like I would never do nothing like that to you, da da da. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I sent the screenshot of when me and Messy was arguing. He said he don't fuck with none of y'all. He said he don't fuck with none of y'all. He don't give a fuck about none of y'all. And so she was like, we were just laughing because we were gonna tell this nigga's fake. Like he lives off the drama. He don't have no life outside of working. So the artist T was his life, you know? So then after that situation, I just blocked both of them. I seen Flashlight watching my stories sometime, like from time to time or whatever. I honestly couldn't give not 1, 2, 3 about none of them because y'all, like, that was just really a mess. That was a complete mess, you know? So yeah, and that is my friend, why you never mess with any of your coworkers. And that's crazy because I used to have this rule, like I never mess with niggas that I work with or niggas that I live with. Because I used to live in like co-ed like apartments or whatever, and like it wasn't really that much girls there. So when they see a bad bitch like me, niggas be trying to talk to me, but I would always dub them because it's weird. Like it's weird. Like if y'all go back to my video when I was talking about my roommate being obsessed with me, I dubbed him and he became obsessed, and then I had to go through all that stuff where I was living. Like it was just a mess. But anyway, that's the end of this video. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Ciara.Celeste. Follow me on Twitter, Ciara Celeste. Too, baby. You already know the vibes. Period.